कोई बात नहीं, तो एक को दे दो, अभी इसी का दे दो एक को. And first rank is secured by Prerna and Siddharth. Are you here? So please come on the stage and a big round of applause for them too for securing first position under working and non-working model category. नहीं पता इसमें तो हम कोऑर्डिनेटर्स थे ना. अब शांत हो जाओ. नहीं नहीं. Join your hands together, please, all students. These students have secured first rank under this category. Congratulations, all the winners. Keep it up. Now, second category is poster category. Students presented their research work in the form of posters, and there were two categories under poster presentation: UG and PG. So, this activity was coordinated by me, means Dr. Meenu Tevatia, and I am announcing the winners.
The third rank from the UG category goes to Nisha Patel, poster number 19. Nisha Patel. Keep clapping for them. Huh? Third. Now the second position. Okay, ma'am. Acha. Okay. This is a joint, I think, jointly they have received this position. Nisha Patel and Ramakant for poster number 19. Second position goes to poster number 22, Jia Chauhan. From BSc Honors Chemistry. इसमें ना mention.
ये भी BSc Honors.
ये भी वही है, BSc Honors Chemistry.
हाँ.
ये Principal Chemistry. ये BSc है.
इस पे लिख दो. Now the first position, any guesses? Goes to poster number 3, Azmi Razib from BSc Honors Chemistry. तालियां बजाते हुए बच्चों का उत्साह वर्धन करते रहें. Now In the PG category, the first position goes to poster. It's a tie between the two. First position में tie है. अच्छा ये है. Sorry. Okay. For the third position, there is a tie between the two. Ayush Patel and Shubha Lakshmi for poster number 8. And Dania Sayyed, Afifa Dilshad, Rishika Gunjan, Ayushi for poster number 14. These are MSc chemistry students. MSc chemistry के ये सेकंड सेमेस्टर की छात्राएं हैं. हाँ जी. सेकंड पोजीशन के लिए भी टाई है. फॉर पोस्टर नंबर 4, साक्षी शर्मा. And poster number 7, Harshit Bhati, Sejal Naina Tyagi from MSc Chemistry. Sakshi Sharma is from Polymer Science and Chemical Technology. पीजी में पोस्टर्स में जज करना थोड़ा मुश्किल था, तो फर्स्ट पोजीशन के लिए भी हमारे यहाँ टाई है. एंड फर्स्ट पोजीशन गोज टू पोस्टर नंबर 12 फ्रॉम BSc ऑनर्स, अंशुमन. MSc from MSc chemistry, Anshuman Khari, Ishika Pal, Ishu and Juhi Bhatnagar. And the other first, the award for first position goes to Dushyant Tewatia and Vishu Lamba from Polymer Science and Chemical Technology. chemical technology, what's the one?
सुनील भाई, सुनील भाई, कैमरा का बंद हो गया, खिलाया कि भगा दिया, ऐसे कैसे रखा है?
Morning, Dr. Deepti.
And doctor? अच्छा, अच्छा.
आप अपने जजेस के नाम नहीं बता रहे हो ना पोस्टर के नहीं बता
हमने किसी की नहीं बताया, मॉडल वाला भी
हो गया सारा हो गया काम
नहीं नहीं,
क्या बताया तुमने
ये बता दिया. Second.
The second position is secured by Kanika Kashyap from MSc Chemistry second semester. A big round of applause, students.
हो गया तो फर्स्ट फर्स्ट प्राइज इज मानसी चौधरी.
Mansi Chaudhary is a very brilliant student. She is graduated from this department. She was student BSc Honors Chemistry and now she is pursuing MSc Chemistry from the same department. Always topper of her batch. Mansi Chaudhary. नहीं कहते दिया वाला भी करना है. हाँ बिल्कुल है ना आप बोलो लिस्ट नहीं आई मेरे पास अभी आप लिस्ट लो लॉगो वाली भरी है. हाँ
मीनू मैम आप बताओ उनके नाम बोल रहे हैं कैसे? पता नहीं, ये रहे काफी सारे हैं.
ये जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं ये पीछे से जा क्यों रहे हैं? आप खाली अपना सर्टिफिकेट लेने आए हैं, अपना मेडल लेने आए हैं. आप और लोगों के लिए एक एनकरेजमेंट हो, यहीं पर बैठो और पीछे के गेट से कोई भी नहीं जाएगा. जिसे जाना है आगे के गेट से जाइए, ठीक है?
बीच में खाली हम कौन से बोल सकते हैं we are going to join terminal lecture बोलो
अभी पहले वो ना This is to put into your information that a Diya and a Rangoli competition was also held in the department in November 2024. On 8th November 2024. The result has already been declared, but the participants have not yet received their certificates. So what better than this occasion? So your names will be called out. So please come upon the stage to receive your certificates. The third position in the Rangoli competition. ये mix है. Rangoli for the ठीक है. I'll just call your names. Vidyanshi from the UG course. हाँ. Start हो गया? यार ये इतना chaotic कर रखा है ना. We will be interrupting with this certificate distribution. Hello.
Sir, Ashutosh sir, are you available?
Yes, Dr. Taranum.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello. Sir, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Dr. Taranum, can you hear me?
Sir, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you. But you
Sir,
cannot
आपका
hear me.
ऑडियो खुला नहीं है? सर आपकी ऑडियो नहीं चल रही है. देखना आवाज देखना उधर से.
All the students are requested to maintain silence and decorum.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, but you cannot hear me.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know. My microphone is on. Okay, okay, great. Okay, okay. So you can hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. So, sir, I'm Dr. Nazia and I from Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut. I welcome you. We are very fortunate enough to have you in this session. So without wasting time, I would like you to motivate our students and talk to them.
Yeah, okay. I'm very happy to be here with you. Online, but on spirit, I'm very much there, and I'm so happy to see many of my younger friends there. Thank you very much, Dr. Taranum, for having me here. Is your other function over now?
No, sir, we have stopped the valedictory function to have you live.
Okay, anyway, I'm very thankful. I don't know if, Vice Chancellor Dr. Sangeeta Shukla is there, and
No.
your chief guest, Dr. Gurmeet Singh. Okay, doesn't matter if they're not there, but I still want to be very grateful to all of you and all of them, both people who are present.
They will be joining live.
What's that?
Sir, Professor Sangeeta Shukla, our VC, has just now left. She had a meeting.
Yes, of course.
So they'll be joining online.
Okay. Also, in case there is something that our younger friends would like me to discuss, please feel free to state that. I mean, we can have an interaction session as well. If there are any questions, if there are any queries, if there is some theme that somebody would like to discuss, You're very welcome to ask me. Um, so this is a very informal kind of discussion because I was told it's called some kind of motivational talk. I don't know what that means. Of course, that we all need to be motivated. Okay, all of us are facing some kind of problems. We are facing some difficulties. Sometimes we are successful. Sometimes we are not successful. Sometimes we are under stress and all of that. So I suppose motivational talk basically means that we talk about many of these things, but I would not talk about many of these things. What I would like to share with you very quickly are a few things. So first about, because I assume that all of you are students of science. Is that correct?
Yes,
Science
sir.
and engineering or allied subjects. Okay. So, so where are we today in science? And how are we involved in building this new science and indeed new society and the new nation? First of all, let me point out what are the strengths of our nation and of our science. So first of all, first and foremost, is the demographic dividend, which means that the median age of the country is 28 some years, 28, which means 50% people are below 28 years of age. Now that's a huge advantage because as we know that the younger people, they got more energy, they are better connected with what is happening in the world. Um, is there anybody here? I mean, everybody here is below 28 years, right? Or can you raise your hand and tell me if you are not below 20, if you're above 30? If you're above 30, okay. Nobody above 30, okay, which is both good and bad. I'll tell you why it's good and bad. So I already pointed out that demographic dividend is a great thing because because we got hunger, we got technique, we got training, we got IQ, we got all of that, and we got the whole future ahead of us. So which is a greatly motivating thing. So basically, in a society, we need balance. Now, this balance comes from balance between experience and energy. So experience, of course, you get a little bit more as you pile on more years. Okay, but the fact is that the strength of the country now resides in its youth, and so therefore you are the ones who are going to be making or breaking the society and the country. Now there are many overarching challenges of humanity, and many of them are going to be strongly affecting you and our lives in the years and decades, and in fact centuries to come. The overarching challenges of science are also the overarching challenges of society. So these challenges are first and foremost is that of sustainable development. So we all know, we all pay lip service to sustainability and sustainable development. Some people even start thinking, hey, because we live in digital cyber world, so the problem of sustainability is less severe than in the physical world. Nothing could be farther from truth. The array of servers, the data handling, and the rise of large language models, it is already melting the ice, the polar ice, and in the centuries and decades to come, this may even have higher carbon footprint than, in fact, the physical world. So we must be aware of that fact now. Not tomorrow, not a decade from now. So anyway, I pointed out that we have the demographic dividend, which is all of you people sitting here, right? But this let's also recall that our honorable Prime Minister said that we live in Amrit Kal. So Amrit Kal extending to 2047. Now, is that a political slogan? Is that lip service? No, it has a real meaning. The real meaning is this. Right now, we got the advantage. We got the advantage of age being on our side. But this window of opportunity will remain open only for another 30 years or so. This kind of demographic dividend comes in every nation's life, once maybe in 5 centuries, 7 centuries. So we live in times which are very critical, which are very unique. So if we do not leverage our strength now, it would be too late. In another 30, 35 years, all my friends who are sitting here today, another 35 years, they would get closer to the age I am now, which basically means that they have to be supported by younger people. Right. So the larger number of graying population who are not anymore the productive members of society are going to be supported by younger people. So time to do it now is now. Okay. And because also don't forget the new constraints will come. Now, one of the constraints I talked about is sustainable development and sustainability. Now people are saying, look, by the end of the century, we may have about 2.5 degrees, 2 degrees Celsius temperature rise, which already is going to be catastrophic. But I'm pretty sure that the temperature rise with business as usual would be no less than 3 degrees Celsius. And don't forget that the planet Earth and humanity on planet Earth is not here only for 1 century. I mean, 1 century just passes at the blink of an eye. So therefore, I mean, if you are going to be planning for 5 centuries or more like 5 millennia, then there is no time to be complacent. There is absolutely zero time to think that we got time. We don't have time. So what's going to happen? So while we have demographic dividend now, is going to shift in adverse direction in another 30, 35 years, by which time also the problem of sustainable development, environment, and climate change would put constraints on our growth the world over, but also especially for countries that are trying to develop. Okay, that need better standards of living, that need better quality of life. So all of that would come under stress. A second aspect, which is going to put stress on the society and on the careers and on the jobs of certain kind, is the rise of intelligent machines. Okay, so no matter what kind of scientist I am, if I am not connected with what is happening in the world of digital and cyber, what's happening in the world of AI, ML, large language models, chat GPT, what have you, okay, then we are not connected with the real world and the world of tomorrow. So no matter if I call myself organic chemist, I call myself whatever I like to call myself, that's all very transitory. Okay, especially your jobs of the future are going to be interdisciplinary jobs. They are going to require learning new things on the go. No matter, what we did for degree, we did for PhD, postdoc, what have you, all of that becomes irrelevant very quickly. So therefore, it is our capacity to learn, which becomes very important. How do we inculcate? How do we live with the capacity to learn is the most important thing. It's not the university education. It's not the courses that I would do. It is not the content of the courses that I would do. All of that is going to change and pass. So it's what I need to develop really when you are in college, when you are in university, is the capacity to learn and capacity to solve problem. Now, solving problem is not the same as cracking exams. Let's be very clear about it. In fact, most people that I know who have been very good at cracking exams are really not very good at solving problems. That is because we put all our energy and thought into learning shortcuts for cracking exams. So I got nothing against exams. I set up exams. I have been a teacher last 35 years, and I have repeatedly told the people that I interact with that it is not the content of the course which is important, but the process of learning. Now, the process of learning and process of solving problems, I said it's interdisciplinary, but it also requires synthesis. It does not require only analysis. Now, what does that mean? It means, look, all my education has been from chapter to chapter, from course to course, from degree to degree, from college to college, but there is no synthesis. And especially there is no synthesis because I know very little outside of my immediate domain. It is very important that I talk to people who are not like myself. Okay, the people who are not doing the same courses, the people who are not doing the same subject. Okay, I'm a chemical engineer by my training and degrees, but I go to very few chemical engineering conferences. That is because I can pretty much learn, what I know without really going to these conferences. If I need to solve a problem in chemical engineering, I know how to do it. I know how to learn it. but there are many other things that I do not know. And bringing out outside perspective into what I know is what leads to doing good science. See, good science is never done by being in the same silo in which I have been there all my life. Good science, in fact, any problem solving is done only by knowing things which are proximal to the kind of science that I'm doing, but also at little bit of distance. So we keep talking about saying, hey, can I be innovative? Can I be creative? Can I be all of that? My point is, what is the meaning of creativity? The meaning of creativity is to connect those dots of knowledge which have not been connected before. And so if we don't know that these dots of knowledge exist, and what is the relationship between these dots of knowledge which have not been connected before, then there is no creativity. Okay, no matter what I say. Other thing which is not understood well is this concept of innovation. Dr. Tarannum, when you started this meeting, can you hear me, Dr. Tarannum? Yes, yes. When you started this meeting, did you do Saraswati Vandana?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, yes, sir.
Raise your hand if you did that. Okay, very good, very good. But you did not do Lakshmi Vandana, isn't it? So you see, this is something that I'm trying to inject in our conferences, in our workshops, in our schools, in our colleges. Okay, what is the reason for that? Let me explain to you the meaning of innovation and invention. So, often people don't understand what innovation actually means, and how do we bring innovation in our education, and how do we bring innovation beyond the college? How do we prepare people who are into innovation? So we first must understand what innovation is. Okay, so there is something called invention, there's something called discovery. So invention and discovery are this black box. This black box, basically, the input to the black box is money and the output is knowledge. It may be information, it may be data, it may be measurements, it may be knowledge, it may be wisdom. Okay, but basically, the money comes in and knowledge flows out, or it is transmitted. So this is what we do in colleges. This is what we do in R&D labs. Basically, we require resources to create and transmit knowledge. But innovation is opposite of that. Okay, innovation is 180-degree opposite of invention. Innovation is another black box in which knowledge comes in and money flows out. Okay, so you understand very clearly two black boxes. One of them is called invention ecosystem. The other one is called innovation ecosystem. Now, just because I'm good at invention ecosystem does not automatically mean that I'm good at innovation. So what is innovation? Innovation is basically, to repeat again, how to use knowledge. How do I use knowledge to create new opportunities? How to create new socio-economic impact using the knowledge that I have. So while many people can crack exams, while many people can have a very high IQ, but do we know how to use that knowledge for practical purposes? To create new, businesses, to create new opportunity, socio-economic impact is what we are looking at. So therefore, I urge all of you, please give it some thought that when we do Saraswati Vandana, on the same pedestal, we should also do Lakshmi Vandana. There is no shame in it. In fact, Lakshmi and Saraswati are forms of the same power, the same goddess, which have been split into two because of analytical reasons. The same reason because of which thermodynamics and fluid mechanics have been split from mechanics, right? What we need is the synthesis of the two in order to solve problems. So in order to create knowledge, what do we need? We need money. We need Lakshmi. So Saraswati would not stand alone without Lakshmi. Similarly, Lakshmi will not stand alone without Saraswati, because to create new money, to create new opportunities, we need knowledge. So this is what is called knowledge-based economy, right? So please pay it little thought. Okay, this concept that we must not have contempt for Lakshmi. Matter of fact, every professor ever is telling me they don't have money for research. Okay, and every student is in fact looking for a career path that gives them money. There is no shame in it. So therefore, we must understand that Saraswati and Lakshmi are indeed on the same pedestal, because we understand the differences between invention and innovation. A lot of people think innovation basically means some creative thought. They think, hey, what a innovative thought. No, innovation has nothing to do with creative thought. It has zero correlation with how brilliant a thought might look. It has 100% correlation with whether that thought can be transformed into a socio-economic opportunity. And this is what we are not, training ourselves too well for. While we are training ourselves very well for organic chemistry and for soft matter and for everything that we do, okay? But we are not training ourselves too well about how do we convert, what is that alchemy that converts knowledge into opportunity, not just a job, but a career, not just a career, but career for other people. So it's not just a career and a job for you, but for other 100 people, for another 1,000 people, for another million people. And we don't do it now. Let me come back to the original theme. If we don't do it now, it's too late in another 30 years. So this concept about what we call the Amrit Kal has a real meaning. And that real meaning is something that we need to imbibe and translate into practice. Now, anyway, I was given to speak for about 10 minutes or so. I think that they would be very quickly over. Before that, I would share a couple more concepts. And one of them is about problem solving. Now, the problem solving, there are three ways of solving a problem that in Hindi I call Jugad, Dhanda, and Panga. Is my favorite topics. I can give 1 hour lecture on each one of these modes of problem solving. Okay, so we already know what Jugad is. Jugad is, has been very popular in India. But remember, Jugad is not an optimal solution. Jugad is not a scalable solution which is globally acceptable. So while we need Jugaad now and then to solve problems, because our needs are immediate and we need an immediate solution, this would not be a long-term, perfect, optimal solution. Dhanda. Dhanda is business as usual. Okay, it basically means I'm happy with making 2% change, making 5% change year on year basis. Okay, 80% of society works on dhanda. Okay, it is a stable continuity of my culture, of my business, of my life, so to say. We don't want too much disruption. The third way of solving the problem is what I call Panga. And Panga is the disruptive out-of-box solution. Now, why do we need to do more Panga? Because, it's not really part of our education. If I have to write an essay about, some favorite hero, and I write a critique, I will probably fail the exam. Okay, but the fact of the matter is that it is only the disruption which is going to solve our overarching problems. Okay, which is Panga. So what are the overarching problems? Let me just, repeat one more time. Sustainable development. Okay, sustainability and development, they pull in different directions. Okay, sustainable development is an oxymoron. It's an oxymoron because we have not understood that development is not mindless consumption. Okay, so therefore people even start equating happiness with consumption. I mean, nothing can be more stupid than that. But anyway, we have this for about 2 centuries now. We have been believing that happiness actually equals consumption. Of course, we need a standard of living. We need health for all. We need energy for all. We need all of that, right? But sustainable development, the way we understand it now, globally, is at odds with each other. Sustainability pulling in one direction, our concept of development through consumption is pulling in another direction. And these are very hard, it's very hard actually to marry them together. So if we have done something for 50 years, right, and we have not been successful, to think that we do the same thing another 50 years and become successful, there is a word for it. It's called stupidity. It's not going to happen. So therefore, we need Panga. We need to accept Panga, both educational institutions in R&D and in general in our way of life. Okay, to do new experimentation, to be open to new ideas, to think of things in a different way. No matter if 100 people say something, no matter if a million people say something, we must have that confidence to try out new things, to take risk. In fact, I'm not, it's not only the modern science which says this. 2500 years ago, there was this guy called Buddha, and he said, believe no one, no matter who said it, no matter if I said it, unless it squares with your own experience and knowledge. So therefore, what is actually required of us, my younger friends? Oh, by the way, thinking of younger, let me also clarify that often people ask you, say, how old are you? Oh, you must be old. There is no such thing as old people in this world. Okay, let me repeat that. There are no old people in this world. There are young people like me, and there are younger people like you. And when you're sitting with your teenage, brother or somebody, or you're sitting with your 7-year-old niece, they think you're already very old. Huh? You are beyond repair. Okay. So never make the mistake of thinking that there are old people in this world. And there is a very good reason for me telling you that, but I may not have time to actually explain the logic of why I'm saying that. I will only say one very short thing, which is to say, look, we in our life, we should not deal with stereotypes. We should deal with real people. Okay, what does it mean? What is a stereotype? The stereotype is the gender, it is the age, it is the way you dress, it is the food that you eat, it is the language that you speak. All of that is a stereotype. And unfortunately, the human mind deals only with the stereotypes. It does not deal with real people. And I'm saying if we want to be really smart, we want to solve problems, then you have to deal with real people. Not, oh, well, okay, this person is from this place, okay, eat this kind of food, this is the gender, this is the age. Because if we do that, then we would put limits on our interaction and our learning. So I hope that is fairly clear. Now the point is, okay, so I was saying, look, we need to encourage more Panga. Okay, as a society as a whole, we need to have that confidence, because finally the success, including in science, is a matter not so much of IQ. Let me say that very forcefully. It's not a matter only of IQ. It is not only a matter of training. It is a matter of culture and behavior. Okay, which is something that we never talk about because it's not part of our curriculum in science. So we say, what did it mean, culture? So let me just quickly point out one example and then give a stop there. You see, so our Honorable Prime Minister talked about Atmanirbharta, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar. What is Atmanirbhar? Right? So the Atmanirbharta of any kind, whether in research, in science, whether in your job, in anything, it depends on three cultural pillars. These cultural pillars are Atmavishwas, okay, which is self-confidence, okay, which is not to exaggerate. Okay, this is not, that's why I'll come to Atma Chintan. Atma Chintan means basically reflection, which is rational, which is dispassionate. Atma Chintan is not same as Chinta. Chinta is negative. Atma Chintan is a positive thing. So we need Atma Vishwas, we need Atma Chintan, and we need Atma Samman, which has gone in short supply because of very long periods of maybe foreign rule, maybe some other things which happened. But basically, Atma Samman is so very important. Basically, a lot of negativity I see in our campuses today is because of the lack of one of these cultural traits: Atma Samman, Atma Vishwas, and Atma Chintan. Right? So, person who has no Atma Samman cannot respect other people. If I don't have money, I cannot give it to other people. Similarly, if I don't have Samman, I cannot respect other people. And so this is so very important. I cannot emphasize it enough that we pay attention to who we are, where we are going to go, and how are we going to get there. And something which is very important in this journey are the cultural, behavioral aspects. Let me also tell you that I have seen in enough conferences that depending on the color of your skin, more people want to interact or not, often depends on the color of the skin. Okay, and it always amused me a great deal. I'm saying, oh, what's happening with all these PhD students and stuff? Why are they actually hanging around, or rather mobbing only those people who, according to them, have the right skin color, or they come from some abroad, some country ABCD, right? Whereas the same countries ABCD, they respect Indian scientists when they are there, right? But we don't have the same deal of respect. I can tell you so many horror stories. I don't have time to actually narrate that. But we must be aware of the fact that we are inheritors of a great culture, a great civilization. And we should not be thinking, hey, we are second. We are second to none. Okay, so don't think that this great university, ABC of the world, has better people than me. So I cannot be a leader. I can only be a follower. You see, so there's another complex that we have. Why is it we are not producing leading order science? Why are we not leaders in some areas of science? Right? What do you think is the answer to that? If I talk to a professor, he says, well, we are not leaders in science because the funding is not sufficient. Okay. So let me tell you, we are also not leaders in those sciences which do not require funding like mathematics. Okay. So see, I'm not saying anything negative. I'm only stating the fact, okay, that we are not leaders even in theoretical sciences, leave alone experimental sciences that may require tons of infrastructure. I'm not saying infrastructure is not required. Of course, it's required. It's a necessary condition, but it's not sufficient. What is a sufficient condition? Sufficient condition is cultural and behavioral. So without repeating, whatever I said, okay, so I should give Viram to this particular session. But just leave you with one more thought, which is to say the role of humor, in scientific pursuits, in doing well, being positive and all that. I mean, I often see people, what long faces in all these scientific conferences, and our younger friends are thinking, when can I escape this torture? Yeah, right. And then there is, very little interest in all of this. Why does it have to be a pursuit which is so devoid of joy, excitement, and humor? Can we actually inject that? Okay, so that everybody is joyous. We're saying we are doing some great work. It's not a, hey, I don't have any option, so I just have to do this, right? No great work is ever produced by people who do routine work, who have no excitement, who have no pride, who has no joy in their work. But often I see PhD students saying, I'm so depressed. What is happening? What is the purpose of my life? What is my career? What's going to happen to me in 5 years from now? And so on, right? Which is some legitimate concerns sometimes. But the solution is not that. The solution is not in developing more negativity. Okay. And to go through a regular day, we need some humor. So I'll give you an example. So when I just joined IIT Kanpur about 35 years ago, I was a young assistant professor. And, some of my senior people would come around. They had affection for me. They'll say, hey, Ashutosh, what are you doing? This is not chemical engineering. Anyway, whatever, people have different ideas about what is what. And everybody likes to give advice. So anyway, one day I'm telling this person who is maybe 20, 25 years senior to me. I said, look, I have done in 2 years what you did in 20. So he said, what? I said, nothing. So you see, this is, you relax. I mean, end of the day, you are tired anyways. So you need to crack some jokes. Okay. And you need to feel good about it. And for the rest of the day, while we are doing research, we are doing teaching, we are doing all of that stuff. And there are lots of people, there are a lot of stresses. There are lots of people who are trying to pull you in different directions. Some of them trying to pull you down, some of them trying to pull you up. That is life. But you are not going to go through life cheerfully unless you have some sense of humor. Right? And so this is the lightness of being. So please cultivate the lightness of being, no matter how hard things look, no matter how hard the life looks, it's all going to be all great. It's all going to be very enjoyable. Thank you very much for inviting me here. I totally enjoyed being with you. And I wish you all the very best in everything that you do in your life. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. A big round of applause for Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Padam Shri, former Secretary of DST and President of INSA. So being a BRICS alum, I had the opportunity to interact with you, and I know how much you are into science. And you have really encouraged all the BRICS alum to do well in their own fields. I encourage the students to ask questions with sir.
Yeah, I mean, not just questions, you can share anything with me, which will make me learn also.
Yes,
Okay.
sure, sir.
Yeah. Anything you wish to
Any
discuss,
questions? Please come up.
feel free to say anything. There is no taboo here. You can discuss anything.
Good evening, sir. Sir, as you said that a PhD student faces many problems.
Little louder if you can.
Am I audible?
Yeah, I mean it's a little faint, but I can hear you.
Okay, good evening, sir. As you were saying that PhD students often face many difficulties. And in fact, we were also preparing a program of how a life of a PhD student progresses, but we were asked at the end that we should not do the program because it might upset the PhD students. We were supposed to do it at the orientation program for PhD students. So how would you suggest that what should be the mindset of the PhD students, the PhD scholars, while they're pursuing their PhD?
Yes. It's a very good point, worth discussing at great length. See, let me first say that there are three major phase transitions in academic career. Okay, so those of you, you are physics people, you understand phase transitions, right? The first phase transition in academic life is to become PhD student, right? Why is it a break from the past? Because everything we have done in the past is based on second-hand knowledge and its transmission and its mastery. Right. So it is about, passive, transmission of knowledge, and then same knowledge comes into exam papers and stuff. Whereas in PhD, you are supposed to question critically the existing knowledge and in fact to produce new knowledge. So therefore, the techniques, the skills, the mindset which is required for a successful PhD research is different than from an undergraduate. Right, is fairly clear. So therefore, and of course, second transition happens when you become an independent faculty member, or maybe before that, a postdoc. Okay, there you need more independence. Then you become a faculty member or a scientist who is independent, which means you are now responsible not only for yourself but for other people as well, which means that you have to get money, you have to give them direction, you have to ask them to write papers, you have to do very many different things, and that requires different set of skills to be successful, right? So these are different kind of transitions in academic life, and of course, unless we have very good quality PhDs, okay, our science quality will never improve. So it is very clear that we need to have some dialogue with PhD students. In fact, I have evolved one such curriculum. So we had 1 day long program like this in IIT Jodhpur and IIT Kanpur as a kind of pilot study. Okay, so I'm evolving a kind of curriculum for 3 day program. These are basic things that every PhD student should know. Okay, but which is not, these are questions everybody needed to know, but we are afraid to ask or we are afraid to answer. Okay, either way, right? So, see, the solution to a problem is not in not recognizing the problem. It is never sweeping things under the rug. Okay, while I can totally understand that that can be the first impulse of many people, is saying if I don't acknowledge the problem, it will go away. Right? But I am not even saying it's a problem. It is not a problem. It is a question of training properly. Okay, so PhD students need to know in their first year or second year. By second year, sure. Okay, there are certain things they need to know, which even includes philosophical questions like what is the purpose of academic life? Okay, where are we heading? Why am I doing this? Right? What are the career choices? What are the soft skills? What are the communication skills? How do I write a paper? How do I read a paper? What is the role of AI in research and writing papers increasingly? What is ethics in doing research and publishing, right? What is data analysis? There are a whole lot of things, okay, that all PhD students need to know. Okay, but we don't do it, right? So I'm totally with you that we need to evolve a good program in which we can sit down together and discuss all the problems. This also includes, for example, the mental stress for PhD students, which is very different from the mental stress for undergraduates. See, the origin of mental stress in PhD is of a very different nature than, let us say, in other citizens of the country. Many times psychiatrists don't understand that. In fact, we had called a couple of one psychologist, one psychiatrist, okay, to interact with PhD students. And I was horrified to see that their thinking was all wrong. They have not gone through PhD experience, right? So even a run-of-the-mill, an average psychologist or psychiatrist do not understand the problems of doing PhD. Okay, just the very fact that a person has for the first time has become free, that that person is responsible for his actions. There's a much greater degree of freedom of thought. That itself puts enormous amount of stress on people who are not used to it. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. But anyhow, so the point is that yes, I hope that we would evolve actually a good curriculum, and I'm evolving it through also Indian National Science Academy together with some partners, so that we are able to convince all the different campuses that they need something like this. Okay, while I cannot go everywhere and do it, but if we can train the teachers, train the trainers, right? Let's say 2 or 3 or 5 faculty members who have interest in these kind of things, right? Then they can take the gospel to their own campuses. And I think there should be a very open and frank discussion about these things.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Is anybody here think otherwise, that we should not discuss this? Right.
Any
Um,
any more question? So there is a question from MSc student.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, as you said, we have to be a learner, not a leader. But as we are human, sir, if we make a win, then it boosts our ego. And if we lose, it makes us depressed. So how do we maintain this
Actually,
attitude?
what you are asking, if you lose your ego, it'll depress you. Is that I
No,
have not understood? Are you asking that if you
नहीं sir.
lose your ego, then you will be depressed? Is that correct?
सर मेरा सवाल ये है
Uh-huh.
कि जैसा आपने अभी मेंशन करा था कि आपको पूरे जीवन एक एटीट्यूड रखना होता है कि हम एज अ लर्नर नॉट अ लीडर.
No, no, no. I said you should be leader. You should be a leader. See, they are not at conflict with each other. A learning. Oh, I understand. So आप ये सोचते हैं कि जो जो लोग learn करते हैं वो leader नहीं है. In fact, a leader would be a stupid leader if he is not learning. Okay, unfortunately, leaders often think that they no longer need to learn anything new, right? So this is a problem. This is not a solution. Okay, everybody has to be continuously learning. In fact, your generation would have to learn more because the nature of work is changing. Okay, so it is no longer like I did one degree and for the rest of my life I will get a job based on that degree. Okay, so learning is a lifelong experience, and the capacity and desire to learn is a very positive trait, no matter if you're a leader. I hope that we don't have leaders who don't have capacity to learn. I mean, we don't want those leaders, right? I mean, do you want a leader who is out of touch with things, right? No. So I think learning is in fact a leadership quality, on the contrary.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We have one more question from MSc chemistry student.
Good evening, sir. So my
Yeah.
question is how to overcome the moment of frustration or self-doubt during our research
Yeah.
and results are slow to come.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very simple. Don't be frustrated.
Sir, she is doing research under my supervision.
Yeah, you see, so now how not to be frustrated is very simple. Don't be frustrated, huh? Okay, just enjoy your life. Okay. See, there is no how to. Okay, the problem with us is that we want a recipe, we want an algorithm to be happy. There is no such thing. Okay, so you either are happy or you are not happy. That's about it. You may be under any situation. Situations will keep changing. The success and failure also keep changing from day to day, right? So a lot of time I hear people say, wise people, they say that failure is not permanent. But these wise people are only half wise because the success also is not permanent. Okay, so please remember that neither success nor failure is permanent. It is how you deal with it at the end of the day. It is how you get up every time and you deal with the situation, but not by being depressed, but not by being saying, look, okay, hey, this problem is unsurmountable. Okay, some problems are unsurmountable, but then you change the problem. I mean, there are many ways to approach things, right? But the net sum of all of this is that by being depressed, by being under tension, by being under stress, you are not going to do anything better. This is very simple. Okay, so you are either part of the problem or you are part of the solution. Now, what I hear actually in campuses, one of the killers in our campuses is the negativity and the pessimism. Okay, there is never anything gained by these two traits, even though they look very attractive. Because you see, just imagine the the pleasure that one derives by having many cups of tea and gossiping. And usually, gossiping is only about your neighbor. The gossiping is only about all these negative things, you know, and all of that. But actually, that contributes nothing to your life. It contributes zero to your life other than the sugar which is going with tea in our system. Okay. So by understanding that, look, all of this is not the solution to our problems, the negativity, the pessimism, hanging around with energy vampires. This is a concept that I've introduced called energy vampires. So they are, all vampires, they suck blood. Energy vampires, they suck energy. Okay, you will know if you are with energy vampire, you will know it at the end of it. After 1 hour, you will feel totally dejected with life. Okay, you will say, world is so unfair. Somebody is not working. Okay, this all my failures actually are somebody else's failures. Remember, when I am successful, it's because of other people. But when I fail, that failure is my own. You can blame nobody for it.
Yes.
Okay, we do the inverse. So what we do is when I am successful, I feel so good. I say, I'm so good. I'm top of the world is because of I am so great. I'm Einstein. That's why I'm successful. I owe my success to nobody else. Nothing would be more stupid than that. Okay, but when I don't succeed, I should recognize my failure. I should learn something from it and move on instead of blaming the whole world for it, instead of saying only if my professor was different, only if my director, vice chancellor was different, only if the God was different, all of that stuff that happens. It has not made anybody wiser or more successful.
Sir, we have one more question from Professor R.K. Soni from Department of Chemistry, Chaudhry Charan Singh University.
Oh, professors should not ask question because
Good
I'm
evening.
not equipped to answer them.
Good evening,
But
sir.
anyway, go ahead.
On behalf of the Department of Chemistry and Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut, I want to thank you for sparing your precious time in guiding our students. In this continuum, actually, I want to ask one more question on behalf of the students. Basically, I want to ask you whether the students should choose research or innovation. As in your definition, research and innovation are not complementary to each other.
Yeah. No, Deshu, it's not a zero-sum game. I think we do research. See, point we have to ask is why am I doing research? Of course, the obvious answer is to get fellowship. Okay, obvious answer is I don't have any better option. Okay. So okay, that is one answer, but I'm saying that is not okay. We have to go beyond that answer. Okay, and we say, look, why am I doing research? What is at the end of this research? Of course, end of the research, I'm hoping that I will get a teaching job or I will do some R&D job or I will drop out or something. Now add to those career choices also innovation. So therefore, while I'm getting trained, I am saying this all the knowledge that I'm producing, knowledge that I'm acquiring, okay, how can I purposefully use it for innovation? Right. So there is no incompatibility between the two. All I'm saying is that we need to be thinking about it, that we need to start acquiring some of the skills which are required in order to generate opportunity from knowledge. Now, okay, so there is no, I think our teachers also need to increasingly understand the aspirations and potential of our young people. Let me tell you, at the end of 2014, when I joined Department of Science and Technology as its secretary, there were less than 100 technology startups registered in the country. Today, there are 1.4 lakhs in 10 years, in the last 10 years. This has happened. So how did that happen? It happened because of change in our mindset and culture. It did not happen because we are teaching different things now. We are not teaching different things. We are still, our colleges, universities are running in similar way as they were running 10 years ago. All I am asking is that professors not exclusively think only about one type of career at the end of education, right? So even if it's my PhD student, as a professor, historically, I'm only thinking that this PhD student is good only for producing some papers, which will become part of my CV, which will bring me greater recognition, which will bring me more awards, while at the same time, the PhD student will also get a job, isn't it? So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to produce my clones in dozens. But the point is, okay, I mean, I can understand that I cannot produce something which I am not totally, but at the same time, I can encourage innovative thinking. So I can say, look, your career is not only in being just like another professor like me. Okay, you can have other options. And the time has never been better for those options. So I can guarantee you, even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the time was not right. Today, I mean, the brightest of our people, they don't want a job. Okay, they want to get into a business using knowledge, because you see, you imagine a general person with very little education walking around in the street becomes hugely successful businessman. So why can't our top MSc PhD people? What do they lack? They don't lack anything. They have all the IQ. They have all the training. All they need is energy, risk taking, and confidence. How do we inject that confidence into them? I can tell you from my own experience. So about 15 years ago, I had this PhD student who was making something in his PhD. I said, look, don't become a professor. You make these machines. I'm sure you'd be successful. This was 15 years ago when nobody heard of startups and all that. There was no money available. So I wrote him my first personal check. I wrote him a personal check saying that, look, you make this machine, you sell it. If you are not profitable, you disappear with my money. I have, this is my risk taking. I cannot tell only other people to take risk. I should also take risk, right? And he was so successful. Within 2, 3 years, he's driving Mercedes. Okay. And it's not a question of driving Mercedes. You see, the best of N95 mask that we needed at the time of COVID-19 came from his company. Because somebody who is trained in science will design good mask, will design scientific mask, scientifically designed mask. Whereas somebody who is just a businessman, he will just make anything and sell it, right? So if you want to be globally competitive, then we want our scientists to also become innovators. I'm not saying 100%. I'm saying 20%. Okay, those who have the right kind of potential, right kind of personality, right kind of risk-taking ability, and so on, they have no doubt they would be successful. So I just conclude by saying that there is no conflict between knowledge I mean, they are different processes. I understand that. And you may not be doing them at the same time. The same person may not be doing them at the same time, but we prepare people also for this dimension of innovation.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have one small question from a UG student.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is, these days everyone asks us to be critical, think critical and be creative in our field. But these days labs and experiments have very restricted laws. And I feel creativity comes with freedom. So how can we think creative and think critical in our field when we lack freedom?
There's such a good thing, to discuss. Basically, she's saying, look, you don't get hands-on experience anymore. You don't get lab experience. I mean, physical lab, because there's digital, cyber, immersive, more and more you would have, experiments which are AR, VR. They would also be based on AR, VR experiments. See, point is, what is your name?
So my name is Azmi.
Is what?
Azmi.
Agni? Oh, the great missile.
Azmi.
Okay. Anyway, good name. So, see, point is, it's not a zero-sum game. Nothing in life is a zero-sum game. What does it mean? It means if I'm doing digital cyber experiments, let us say in even augmented reality, virtual reality, which will become more and more popular as the days go by, it does not mean that I should reject the physical world. Okay, now it's not a zero-sum game in the sense that because I add something, that I should ignore something else. Okay, it would be a grave mistake to say that we cannot work with our hands, right? In fact, it is happening more and more. In fact, it's not something new. You see, in high school, you have not done experiments, isn't it? Your lab has never been taken seriously. Undergraduate, I don't know how it is, but I know that in school, nobody takes lab seriously. Why is that? Because it does not count. Okay, if you're going to crack an exam, a competitive exam, then all the hours that you spent in your lab have no meaning. So any skill which is not rewarded, okay, it becomes extinct, right? So the problem is there with our educational system, that we think that bookish knowledge is everything. Actually, bookish knowledge is not only not everything, actually it is close to nothing. Okay, so I understand what I'm saying. Okay, and even then I am actually saying it, and I would like to emphasize that things that we have learned to crack exams, they are next to nothing. Okay, they actually mean very, very little in the journey of life. And they mean very little because when I have to solve a problem, I will have to learn it on my own. Okay, even when I started teaching all the courses that I had done as an undergraduate, it's not that I really understood them for teaching. When I have to start doing teaching, I have to relearn all of that on my own. Okay, if I have not done that, then it would mean nothing, right? And anyways, I mean, working with your hands is so important. Have you read this book? It's called Surely You Must Be Joking, Mr. Feynman. Mr. Feynman, as you know, was a fine physicist. Okay, if you have not, any of you have not read this book, please get a copy, download it, read it. Okay, and it will tell you answer to also the question that you were asking me. Not all, questions need to be answered only by somebody else. Okay, it is also the responsibility of person asking the question to supply answer. Okay, so I'll give you some hint, and I'm saying that this is very important to do lab work, but unfortunately, it's completely ignored. Okay, it's completely ignored in favor of exams, which are theory, so-called theory exams. In fact, I was shocked once to learn that one of the top physicists of the country, He could not do a simple experiment. So in fact, he asked me, he said, can you design an experiment? Because I want to prove such and such theory. Then when I looked at it, I said, this is an experiment you can rig up in high school lab. Then he said, but I am a theoretician. And I was so shocked. You know, I am an engineer, so I don't differentiate between theory and practice. Okay, but I understand that in science, it is very fashionable to differentiate between theoreticians and experimentalists. I think it's a total nonsense. I mean, if you ask me, without disrespect to anybody, what I would like to state forcefully is that this separation between theory and practice is completely artificial and it does not serve any purpose. Okay, so it's the same thing about the artificial distinction between applied science and basic science. Okay, a lot of people keep claiming, no, no, they do basic science. Anyway, I mean, this is a very long debate. Okay, and we may not have all the, I mean, we may have not all the time right now to address all of this. All I'm telling you is the conclusion that it is nonsense. Okay, so I'm not telling you the logic. There is a very big logic and there is very big all stuff there. All I'm saying is the differentiation between theory and experiment and practice should never have been there in the first place, but it is there. Okay. Similarly, all this people, you know, like I told you, I'm a chemical engineer by degrees. But at different times in my life, people thought I was a chemist. In fact, I was one among the very first editors of an American Chemical Society journal in India, right? So they thought I was a chemist. Then some people thought I was a theoretician. Some people thought I was an experimentalist. Some people thought I'm a material scientist. Some people thought that I'm a physicist, a condensed matter physicist. The point is, all these labels are meaningless. What you want to do is you want to solve an exciting, good problem in your life, right? Whether you call it material science, you call it physics, who the hell gives a damn about that? Except, you know, your undergraduate teaching. Because undergraduate teaching requires certain courses to be taught, which means that you require knowledge in certain areas. Okay. Other than that, you know, to define yourself as A, B, C, D puts limits on your growth. And I'm telling you, I mean, I have great respect for this physicist, but and he's a well-known. That's why I don't want to take his name here because everybody knows him, right? But he's telling me that he cannot design a high school experiment. What kind of physics are we teaching people here? Okay, so there you are.
Thank you for your interactive session. We have Professor Jayamala, Dean Science. She's a professor in mathematics department. She wants to express her gratitude to you.
You know, you would express your gratitude even more by ordering a pizza for me in the evening because I'm not there to partake of your dinner or lunch. And then I'm just kidding, huh? Okay, don't do it. Yeah, please go ahead.
So we are very much grateful to Professor Ashutosh Sharma, who spared his valuable time. And I think you have talked on so many points, so many topics, or so many facts about the life. Though it was the motivational lecture, but I don't think it was the motivational lecture. It was touching so many real things of life, and whatever I could got is that be positive, don't be frustrated, live your life, live your experiment, whatever. What one thing, sir, I want to quote that if you are belonging to a family who is good, either who is good in mindset, who is good in open mindset, whether he has not enough money, they will give you all leverage, all liberty to do your research, to do your education, to do your job, to take your time. But sir, what is the situation in India, because I am also having two daughters and we are six sisters. I know how much struggle I did for my education. And even today, we give full leverage to our daughters, but society doesn't give. So the question, the main pressure in the mind of student regarding the PhD itself, there are two pressures. One is the pressure of job. because that in traditional courses, I'm not talking about the engineering, in traditional courses, we do BSc graduation, then post graduation, then we register ourselves in PhD. But still, we do not know what is our career, because our career is related to either qualifying NET or do this degree or get this ranking, like that. We do not provide, still today, we do not provide jobs according to our skill. There are very few fields where you provide the jobs according to the skill. Even I can give the example of my own nephew. He was good in coding. He was good in coding when he was in the standard of 9. He could do the coding at the level of some third year IIT student, but still it was imposed, it was inculcated that first you have to take degree. First you have to take degree, then only you will get the job. And by some pressure, or you can say whatever you can say, that was the requirement, he was to do his BTech. He did the BTech from some very small college. These days, he is attached with the defense ministry and doing the coding of all security and all that. But what I want to say that even at present, we are saying we are going to become the developed India. We are still the developing country, but our mindset has not been developed. It will take very long time. I interact with so many students who may be boy or the girl, male or female, who are still having the pressure of society. कब शादी करोगे, कब पढ़ाई पूरी होगी, कब तुम्हें जॉब मिलेगा. तो जो ये सोसाइटल प्रेशर है ना सर, ये भी हमें इंसिस्ट करता है फ्रस्ट्रेट होने के लिए. I know that most of the students are agreed with me because they are facing the same type of problem. Even today, we are having very few families who give time to student to be free to take their time to do their research or to complete their studies, or they are not free to choose their own life. So I think this is the main point, and we should also encourage even parents. We should also uh, I think that the consultancy जो दी जाती है, जो therapy दी जाती है, that is much more required for the parents than for the students. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
May I say something very quickly? This is a very important
Yeah.
point that you raised. And so you know the problem and you have stated the problem. Now, what is the solution? So one time about 8 years ago, I was addressing a group about 200 women entrepreneurs, and I wanted to learn about what their problems are. So one of them said, "Oh, LKK." So I so distinctly remember this. I said, "LKK, what is LKK?" So she said, "Log kya kahenge?" Okay, so now see so we understand the problem, but what I am asking you is, we are either part of the problem or we are part of the solution. And that, make no mistakes, it's not about society, it's about me. Okay, so the same person who states the problem must have the confidence to stick to a solution. Okay, what that means is that if your daughter says that, look, her interest is not in science, it's not in engineering, it is not in quota, it is not in coaching, would you have the confidence to actually say, yes, that's perfectly fine? We have made a society which is totally distorted. Okay, which means everybody with intelligence is either an engineer, a doctor, and preferably an MBA. Okay, so why? It is not because there is not because of the people, it's because of the parents and teachers. So I think if anybody who told me this problem but has not the courage to act on that problem, I would say would remain a hollow promise. So the society changes one at a time. Okay, it changes from home. It changes, I mean, there's nobody out up there who is going to solve our problem. Nobody. Okay, so you take risk, you
Sir, I agree
fail.
with you.
Yeah.
You have to have courage to
Yeah, that's
convince the
it.
society.
That's
What
it.
is the
That's
correct?
it. And let me quote you one of my favorite authors and his favorite lines, which I read in high school. He said it's better to have loved and lost than not to have loved at all.
Yeah.
So failure is nothing. I mean, okay, why are we so worried about what happens to us? An individual in the universal scheme of things has zero meaning. Zero meaning. Okay, let me repeat that. While people are so worried about what becomes of them, what becomes of their children, this is complete madness. Okay, everybody will do well if we allow people to grow in their preferred path. Okay, the society as a whole will flourish and
Yes,
every
sir, you are
individual
right.
will flourish.
Yeah, sir, you are right, but it will take time.
No,
Again, it will
no,
take time
no, this transformation is now or
because
never.
because young
No,
generation,
don't
sir, young
delay it.
generation is ready to adopt it even at this second, but they have to change the setup of their parents. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sparing your time,
Thank
and
you
we would
for
like
being
to
so
listen you
patient
again.
and,
Thank you.
even listening to my lots of strange opinions. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you, sir.
bye.
We'll be very happy to host you, sir, sometimes in Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you.
Now I would request Dr. Nazia Tarannum to present the report of the symposium.
So I would like to conclude the report in short. The symposium witnessed an overwhelming response with 176 attendees, including students from esteemed institutions such as IIMT, RG College, DNPG College, NAS, MIT, and affiliated colleges, Department of Chemistry, and other departments from the university. Faculty members and teachers from these institutions actively engaged in discussions, sharing their insights and experiences, which significantly enriched the academic uh, disclosures of the event. One of the major highlights of the um, day was the enthusiastic participation in three key competitions: essay writing, model making, and poster presentation. Each of these competitions were meticulously evaluated by a panel of three expert evaluators, ensuring a fair and comprehensive assessment of the participants' work. The essay writing competition saw 37 students actively participating in it and delving into the thought provoking topic, transforming India into a developed nation through sustainable education, NEP's vision. The topic of great significance emphasized the pivotal role of education in fostering sustainability and innovation for national progress. The poster presentation attracted 32 participants who showcased their research on various innovative and interdisciplinary topics. Their work demonstrated remarkable creativity, analytical thinking, and a deep understanding of research methodologies, making the competition an enriching experience for both participants and evaluators. So we have other lectures and speakers, so you know the details of them. We are in short of time, so I conclude my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nazia. We are also open for your feedback and suggestions. So any feedback or suggestion regarding the symposium are heartily welcome. Anybody from the speakers, from the participants, from the guests?
So we have Professor Vinod Sharma who will share his experience.
Actually, this may be my 80th conference, and 3 in CCSU earlier. So when I compare with all the conference international level in various continents I have traveled, I feel there is nothing wrong here. And in fact, I could see very good thing here, coordination among the organizers, including Dean, HOD, and very, very nice, it's looking like sort of a family. So I'm very happy to see that. Generally, in institutions like IITs and like MIT, somebody spoke, I have attended conference there and I have been chair session like that. Personal touch is not there. So it is very, in addition to academic तो सभी करेंगे कर रहे हैं तो पर्सनल टच जो देख रहा हूँ वो बहुत अच्छा है. Credit go to HOD as well as Jaimala ji, both I mean this is very good, and Nadia certainly very, very proactive in everything. Whenever I wrote to her, she immediately responded. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your positive feedback. We have one more feedback from a student.
Good evening, everyone. The two-day national symposium held by the Department of Chemistry of Chaudhry Charan Singh University helped me gain deeper understanding, and I feel impressed by the renowned speakers and their insights of project-based learning, NEP's vision to experiential advanced learning. I gained connections which I planned to apply in my future studies, and I'm already looking forward to attend such more seminars in the future. I'm also thankful for the prize I have been awarded with. It's a privilege to get acknowledged for the work. I would like to extend my special thanks to the seniors and teachers, especially Prerna Di from MSc Polymer, who have helped me effortlessly during the process. Thank you all.
Thank you. Any other feedback? So moving ahead with the program, I would like to tell you about the Diya and the Rangoli competition, which we were talking earlier about. So our students have received awards. So I'm going to call out your names. Please come upon the stage to receive your certificates. For the... Huh? Huh. ठीक है. For this, I would like to request Professor Jaimala ma'am, Professor R.K. Soni, Professor Vinod Kumar Sharma sir, and Professor Rajiv Jain sir, Dr. Nazia Tarannum, to please come upon the stage and to honor our students with their certificates.
All the students who secured third rank in Diya and Rangoli competition, all of you have to come together on the stage. Vidyanshi, Tanisha, Rinki, Priyanshu, Nirbhay, Gungun, Priyanka, Mihika, Tanushri, Vaishali, Sakshi, Shaili, Priya, Anjali, Kanika, Satakshi, Prerna. हाँ, ये सारे third competition वाले. The students who are present here, be fast, come on the stage.
Okay. Second prize winners, I'm going to call your names. Simran, Nidhi, Shreya, Ruchika, Dushyant, Nidhi, Simran, Ruchika, Shreya, Vishal, Soumya, Palak, Aniket. You may stand near the stage. Second prize winners, please come upon the stage. Be quick.
ये देखिए रानी पाप नीचे वंश है वंश का है वंश मम्मी देखो मीटिंग हो रही देखो हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में देखो वो हो रहा है प्रोग्राम हाँ देखो हमारी मैम वगैरह
First prize winners, Aditya, Harshvardhan, Vishesh, Vaishali, Soumya, Sakshi, Vaishali, Dipanshi, Soumya from UG again, Prerna, Mansi Purnima, Shruti, Shivani, Tanisha, Payal, Achal.
बोल के भाग जाया करो
Thanks, sir. Now, I would request Dr. Meenu Tewatia to propose vote of thanks.
Okay, I think we all are tired and waiting for tea. So
We did not even have a lunch.
we did not even have a lunch, both of us. So in very brief, I thank you all eminent speakers, guests who joined us and attend this in this national symposium, and all students. We sincerely thank the Professor Jamala, Head Department of Chemistry, for guiding us and supporting us in the organization of this event. And our sincere thanks to Professor R.K. Soni, co-chairman of this event, Dr. Nazia Tarannum, convener of this national symposium, Dr. Nikhil Kumar, organizing secretary, and all the coordinators, Dr. Priyanka, Dr. Mukti Verma, Dr. Ranu Agarwal, Dr. Manisha Bharadwaj, for their all-time help and support and coordination. That's are appreciated among all organizing members. I sincerely thank all the research scholars, and Dr. Mohit और Dr. Deepak, Dr. Neeraj, उन्हें अभी मैं research scholars ही समझती हूँ, although they are teachers. So we sincerely thank all the research scholars, Pooja, Manvi, Neeraj, Shifa, Neha, Vishu, for all their help and so much tiring effects. Pallavi, all the students, and all my dear students who voluntarily work in making this event successful. A big round of applause for all dear students. We sincerely thank engineering section, the press persons, non-teaching staff, Mr. Amrish, Shubham, Prem, Priyanka, who all are sitting here. So I once again thank you all.
Thank you. And we will now stand up for the national anthem. जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविण उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे सब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Thank you all. You all are cordially invited for the tea.